After a heartbreaking loss to Washington last week at home in front of 50,000 fans inside the shell, the Terps return to action this Saturday against another formidable Big Ten opponent. The Nebraska Cornhuskers led 20 to nothing, lose 24 to 20. How do the Terps, how does Mike Locksley and his staff get this team ready to play again just a week later? The freshman focused Terps looking to get to 5-1, which I said before the season is a realistic possibility. But will they do it? We got a preview, we got predictions. Let's get to it here on the Flex Zone Pod. Thank you, everybody, for joining me. And as always, appreciate the content support that you guys have given for each video covering the Terps. We got basketball news. I need to cover that in a separate video. We'll get to that as well, as the season is pretty much about a month away. But on Saturday, Nebraska is a they open at 5.5 point favorites. They're now 6.5 point favorites. Maryland has covered the spread in every game this year. So I do think Maryland will cover the spread. Over under 7.5. I think that's about right. That's about 23, 24 points per team. I get it. Makes no sense. Now, the weather will be 68 degrees and cloudy. Now, I have heard Sunday a northeast. It shouldn't affect the game on Saturday, but we shall indeed see how that plays out for these two teams. That could be a factor if it does interfere with the actual game. But Maryland 4-1, 1-1 in the Big Ten. Nebraska 4-1, in the Big Ten. Saturday 3:30 on Big Ten Network. It will be Oktoberfest in College Park. The defense has just allowed 10 points in the first half of games this season, the fewest in the first half of 5 games this century. One of 4 Big Ten teams to not allow a score on its opponent's opening possession, and they have posted 7th shutout of a Big Ten opponent in the first half since joining the league when they allowed 13-0 against Washington last week as well. Now, Maryland, Nebraska have met 3 times with the Cornhuskers, winning 2 and Maryland winning 1. So 2-1 as well. In 2023, Maryland did beat them, get that first over win with a dramatic 13-10 walk-off victory in Lincoln, Nebraska. Jack Holes nailed the game-winning field goal as time expired as well. I remember that game. That was an ugly, sloppy game, but Maryland pulled it out. They had 4 interceptions in that game, and it's his second most against any Big Ten conference team since joining the conference. In 2019, they fell to Nebraska 54-7 in the home finale as well. In 2016, the first meeting, Nebraska defeated Maryland 28-7. We know how great Malik Washington has been. The quarterback matchup is really going to be the selling point for this game. I'm really intrigued to see how these two players play. Raiola, the sophomore, and Washington, the freshman. He's one of 4 Power Conference true freshmen to throw for at least 200 yards in his first 5 career games as well. More yards by a Power 5 Conference true freshman since 2018 as well. And Maryland leads the Big Ten and ranks 2nd nationally in interceptions, 4th nationally with 3.8 sacks per game, lead the Big Ten as well. 13.4 points per game is 11th nationally as well. And they are 4th nationally and 2nd in the Big Ten, allowing only 2 sacks through 5 games as well. 4 players with at least 18 or more receptions this season. The only team in the Big Ten with at least 4 as well. 2nd in the Big Ten in receptions, only trailing Nebraska at 134. So there you go. There you have it. AJ Samansky caught his first career touchdown pass last week. Jalil Farouk had a career high 8 receptions and led the team. He leads the team with 25 this year, 8th in the Big Ten. Dorian Flynn, 9 receptions against Washington, a career high, and the most OPS tight end in the game this season. And Octavian Smith Jr. went over 1,000 in his career with 57 against the Washington Huskies last week. Now, 20 of the Terps' 24 losses since 2021 have come a part of a losing streak for the Terps. So usually when Loxley has these teams playing well, when they lose, it's part of losing streak. And I've said it when I looked at the schedule. Each week, the competition gets slightly better, at least up until we get to UCLA. But UCLA beat Penn State, so who knows? Like the NFL, college ball, it's unpredictable. So on the road going out west will not be easy next week. Was that a 7:30 kickoff, I believe. So we'll be talking about that this week. But Nebraska's probably the best team they played so far, maybe. I think Nebraska is probably slightly better than Washington because I think Nebraska's quarterback is potentially the guy you could see on Sundays. No, not Pat Mahomes, even though he looks like him, Dylan Raiola. But now they need to show, does Maryland, that they can handle adversity, bounce back from a loss, and overcome just having really your heart ripped out of your chest because that's what it was on last week. Now, last year, Nebraska was 7-6, 3-6 in the Big Ten. They were a Big 12 powerhouse many years ago. Legendary coaches Bob Devaney, Tom Osborne, and Frank Solich led the Cornhuskers to 35 straight bowl games appearances between 69 and 2003, and three undisputed national championships and two split ones along the way. So there you go. Now, Matt Rule is the coach, his third year. He's laying a foundation. Usually, year three is when he gets it done. And offensive coordinator Dana Holgorsen runs a modern pass heavy system that resembles Maryland more than the ground and pound Nebraska offense of old. So they've gone more to a spread you out, throw the football, pass heavy, modern pro style type of approach as well. Now, the players you need to know: Dylan Raiola, sophomore, number 15. He looks like Pat Mahomes, as you can see on the photo on your screen, but he is a baller. Massive step up in his sophomore year. He has as many passing touchdowns, 12, as he did all of last year, which was only 13. So he's going to break that potentially this week. And he's cut his interceptions in half. He has a 74.2% completion percentage through 5 games. Shakori Barnett Jr., number 2, the wide receiver. He is an elite slot receiver, leads the team in receptions with 23, receiving yards with 348, and touchdowns with 3, 14.8 yards per return. Deshaun Singleton, senior safety, number 8. Now, the Cornhuskers have a really, really good defensive backfield, corners and safeties. He's improved since his sophomore year, which he was not able to play due to injury, all 13 games last year. And second most tackles with 23, tackle for loss, pass deflection, and a fumble recovery as well. His best game came last week. He had 2 interceptions, and he had Big Ten Defensive Player of the Week nods as well. So there you go. We got Andrew Marshall, cornerback number 10. His first season at the FBS level has been nothing short of productive. He spent his first 2 years at Idaho at the famous Kibby Dome before joining the Cornhuskers this past off season as well. So there you go. His play style converts well to the Big Ten also. And he is really good in run defense, 3 tackles for loss, and he plays an outside corner. So he makes a lot of tackles. And we'll see what he can do because Maryland runs a lot of RPOs. Now, the Cornhuskers, like I mentioned, their strength is their pass defense. They have a good defensive backfield, a good group of corners, good group of safeties. They've allowed just 91.8 pass yards per game, the fewest at the FBS level by a wide margin. They have guys that'll play on Sundays in the defensive backfield. Every team Nebraska has played has ran the ball more than they passed it, but Malik Washington does lead the Big Ten in pass attempts as well. So that's going to be an interesting key. Can the Maryland run game finally come to the party? That is going to be something I'm looking forward to seeing. Now, pass protection doesn't tell the whole story because Nebraska has the third highest pro football focused pass blocking rate in the Big Ten, but Dylan Raiola does not help them out. The biggest weakness in his game is his inability, unlike his predecessor or father or twin, Patrick Mahomes, to evade pressure. His pressure to sack percentage is an astounding 32.7%, the second highest number in the country. And leaves the Big Ten with 19 sacks. If they can get pressure, that could be the key to this game. Now, Malcolm Harzog, he is injured. Now, he looks like he's highly doubtful to make a trip to College Park as well. He's a problem for offenses when on the field. All Big Ten honorable mention, but he looks like to be out. We talked about the nor'easter watch. Weather, will that be a factor as well? And we'll see, because a win for Maryland moves them to 5-1 and proves they can bounce back from a loss, and a tough loss at that. A loss puts them at 4-2 with three ranked opponents on the docket for its last six games. It really gets tough, like I said. The three unranked ones, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan State, are all on the road, so those will not be easy. Now, Nebraska's game isn't a must win. Loss makes it a little tougher for that six that we talked about before the season to be bowl eligible. That's going to be something to look forward to as well. Excuse me. Excuse me. I do think Maryland, I'm getting choked up like Maryland last week. I think Maryland does get to at least six, but UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan State. Do you win two out of those three? That puts you at least at six. If you lose tomorrow, I could see that. But after the 4-0 start, the 5-0 start, excuse me, do you really want to, I mean, excuse me, after the 4-0 start, do you want to be 4-2 and then you have what, six games left? You gotta what, go 2-4? But six wins at this point would feel like a little bit of a letdown, a little bit of an underachievement, because you start 4-0. I said 5-1 was a possibility. You get to 5-1, you make me look good, but you help your team out because you're one game away from bowl eligibility. UCLA won't be easy, Rutgers won't be easy, and Michigan State all on the road. You got Indiana coming here, you got Michigan coming here, and who's the other game? Illinois. You go to Illinois. So it's going to be tough. But six wins would be kind of a letdown, but it would kind of be an overachievement as well, when many people were expecting them to only win maybe 4 or 5. But when you start 4-0, you kind of think, damn, can we get 7 or 8? But we'll see. Let's get to the keys to the game, because I don't have too many. Offensively, Malik Washington, take what the defense gives you. You've been doing a good job at that. Don't try to do too much. Maybe, like I said, if it's there, the opportunity allows itself, use your legs, get 5 or 6 yards. Don't overthrow receivers. Receivers, my next key, no drops. So Malik Washington, take what the defense give you. They're not going to give you much. They're the best defensive pass defense in the country, 91.8 yards a game. So they don't even give up 100 yards passing. And they have that lead by a wide margin. So take what the defense gives you. Don't try to do too much. No drops. Offensive line, this is my key every week. Protect Malik Washington, which they've done a hell of a job at, not giving up pressures and a lot of sacks. And find a way to run the ball. We talked about it. Teams run the ball more when they play Nebraska. What is Pep Hamilton going to do? That is a key offensively, to scheme up the ability to run the football, and also, and when you do have to throw it, can you complete passes? Now, they're going to play a lot of zone. They're going to sit back in the zone. They're going to create that wall. They're going to rush 4, drop 7, drop 8, have those zone coverages that you have to fit the ball in the tight windows, and you're going to have to make those throws, Malik, and you're going to have to throw it where the defense isn't. You lead them too much, you miss the throw, you overthrow somebody, you're throwing it right to a defender, and it's going the other way. So Malik Washington, take what the defense gives you. Offensive line, protect Malik Washington. Find a way to run the ball. And it doesn't have to be running for 200 yards. It doesn't have to be running for 150 yards. It can be a situation where you are able to get 4 yards here, get a 5 yard gain, get 3 yards on a short yardage situation. They are going to allow you to run the football. They don't do a good job against the run. Put out an extra lineman, put out an extra tight end, establish the run, use Williams, use Ray, use a little Malik Washington, use some things like jet sweeps, use some, I don't know, shovel passes, use screen passes, use slants and drag routes and crossing routes to scheme your guys open as an extent of the running game. Defensively, hit Dylan Raiola, make him uncomfortable. We just talked about it. He gets happy feet. So he is able to be pressured. He's not going to get away from your pressure. So if you don't get there, you don't have to worry about him running down the sideline for 20, 30 yards like Damon Williams. You don't have to do or overthink him hurting you with his legs like Mahomes, because I think they did a really solid job last week against Williams. He did gash them for a couple of key plays in the second half in that third and fourth quarter, but I think they kept them under 50 yards rushing. So I'm not worried about Raiola as a runner. Hit him, pressure him. You're the number one team in the Big Ten in sacks. Sidney Stewart is back after the targeting play. We know about Zaire Mathis, Wingate. Hit these guys. Draw up some creative pressures. Come after this offensive line. They are a good offensive line. I'm not going to lie, but if you can do what you need to do defensively, you can get pressure on Raiola. He will help you out, and I think you can get some sacks. So hit him, make him uncomfortable, make those happy feet show up like the movie. I mean, we want to pressure this brother because if he's able to sit back there and get time, he will shred you. And Maryland could be in for a long day. No big plays, no big plays over 20 yards. They have some guys, especially stop number 2, Ja'Cory Barnett, slot receiver. They move him around. He can even affect the game in special teams. Find him and don't let him beat you. 23 receptions, leads the team, 348 yards, and 3 touchdowns. He's going to be looked to by Raiola. Take him away. Be physical with him. Don't give up anything. No big plays. Get your hands on him. Don't let him run free. Get off the field on third down. Last week we saw them not able to get off the field. They were gassed. They were winded. Couldn't get the pressure. Couldn't get a stop. If you don't get off the field on third down against this offense, they could put up 30, almost 40 points on you, which we don't want. And that would really demoralize his team and demoralize his defense, which has been one of the best in the country. And I talked about on offense scoring touchdowns in the red zone because last week they could have had 27, 28 points, if they would have scored some touchdowns. But settling for 3, they even missed the kick. You got to score touchdowns in the red zone. And on defense, hold them to field goals in the red zone. You may give up some big plays. This is a really good offense. This team can air it out. Raiola as good as you're going to see at the quarterback position this year. You may give up some. He's going to get you. He's a good player. He's going to be playing on Sundays potentially. You have to take what you can and don't give up those touchdowns. And special teams, make all your kicks and your PATs. Please, we missed some kicks last week, which looking back at it was the difference in the game. Make all your kicks. You've been doing great all year. McPherson, punt, field position is going to be important. Make them go 70, 80 yards consistently. That way you can pin your ears back. Go get Raiola because they're going to throw. So, do what you need to do and get after the brother. Like I said, be creative with the blitzes. Be creative with your blitz packages, zone blitz. You might want to throw in some stunts, some twists. Do different things, Monachino, and I think you definitely can do that as well. Like I said, Nebraska has really good corners. They can tackle well. You're going to have to look out for them at all time. But also, do not let Ja'Cory Barnett beat you in the return game because he averages 14.8 yards per punt return. So you don't want to punt it at the 10 or the 15, and his brother gets another 15, 20 yards, and they're damn near midfield. So I want to see what they do with Ja'Cory Barnett, how they defend him. I think it's going to be very, very important to see how they contain him as well. They're looking to throw the ball first. So, like I said, look to pin your ears back and get after Raiola. So we'll see. But back to the keys. Malik Washington takes what the defense gives you. Protect Malik. Find a way to run the ball. No drops. Score touchdowns in the red zone. Hit Dylan Raiola. Make him uncomfortable. Get those happy feet going. No big plays. Get off the field on third down. Hold them to field goals in the red zone. And make all your kicks and PATs. Now, I do think Maryland covers 6.5. Okay, I think the weather will hold up with a 3:30 start. I want to pick Maryland because I did have them at 5-1, but I thought they would beat Washington and lose potentially to Nebraska if I had to choose, just because I was like, Nebraska's like that this year. Now they weren't ultraly impressive the first week, but they've picked it up. They have really picked it up, in my opinion. They lost to Michigan, which they could have won. But I mean, I'm not going to lie, Raiola is probably right now slightly better than Malik Washington because Washington is a freshman. He did have an interception last week. We don't want that to be a problem, but Raiola from the pocket, if you give him too much time, if he's able to get the ball to his receivers like Barney, is able to use the pieces around him, they will spread and the ball around. Could be a long day at College Park. Now, like I said, I do think Maryland covers. I'm picking Nebraska. You can leave a comment in the chat. Let me know your prediction. I'm picking Nebraska. I did pick Maryland last week over Washington. I think I had them like 23-20 because I thought the defenses were really good. I think this could be a situation where if Nebraska gets going and Maryland's not able to consistently get pressure on Raiola, it could be a long day. Like I said, the key is going to be getting pressure on Raiola because if you can't hit him, you can't make him uncomfortable. Even if you're not getting there every play, you got to get him off his spot, make him move, make him uncomfortable, which he doesn't want to do. And if he is able to do that, he could throw for 300 yards. He could throw for 3 touchdowns. He could put up 35, 40 points on you. Now, I do think it will be an over because I think their offense is a little more explosive than Washington, and their defense is, especially the secondary, is pretty good. I don't know what Maryland's going to do because I have Nebraska slightly more talented and better than Washington. And Matt Rule's a really good college coach. I'm thinking Nebraska's going to win. I don't know if they put up 30. I'm thinking like 27. Yeah, I'm thinking like 27, 23, maybe 27, 20, 24. I think it's going to be a nip and tuck game. I think Maryland tries to come back, but maybe falls a little short. Nebraska maybe gets out to an early lead, and Maryland tries to fight back, but they just run out of gas. So I'm maybe thinking like 27, 24, maybe 31, 26, something like that. I do think Maryland covers, like I said, but I think Maryland loses, and I think they get to 4-2, and that would make the UCLA game a lot more interesting, especially if UCLA goes out and wins this week. And I don't know who UCLA plays. We'll get into that, but UCLA beating Penn State. Nico Iamaleava looking like he's coming back to life. We'll see. We'll cross that bridge when we get there. But I think the Terps lose. Unfortunately, I wanted to pick them this game, but like I said, I would have picked them to lose this game probably anyway before the season. I had them at 5-1 with a 5-0 start, losing Nebraska maybe, then maybe going to beat UCLA. But you get to 5-1 by any means necessary. Maybe you can pull out one against Nebraska. Like I said, maybe you get Dylan Raiola. The key to this game for the Terps, they have to pressure Raiola. They have to pressure this brother, get after him. Maybe get 4 or 5 sacks, get double-digit pressures, maybe force a turnover or two. And offensively, they're going to have to win time of possession. I think also maybe that's another key. Win time of possession. You had a lot of quick 3-and-out series in the second half, a lot of quick drives in the second half they couldn't sustain and keep themselves on the field. So win time of possession, that's another one because I do think coaching is a key. I want to see how the coaches adjust, how they get this team ready to play, and I want to see what game plan offensively they have to run the ball, keep Raiola, because the best defense is to keep them off the field. So run the ball and a good offense. Run the ball, keep time of possession, convert on third down, and then defensively, how are you going to contain this aerial attack and assault by Nebraska? So we'll see that, but I'm going Nebraska 27-23 or 31-26, something like that. Because I think Raiola he is going to be a potential first round pick in a couple years. Washington is getting there, but I just think this Maryland team with the youth, I don't know if they're ready to beat Nebraska yet. They could. I wouldn't be surprised if they won, but I'm going with Nebraska to get the win here. And it's going to be a close game. I think Maryland covers. Like I said. Now 4-2 would suck. 2 straight home losses, then going out west. That would be a must win as well, going to UCLA. But like we mentioned, Michigan State, Rutgers, Illinois, Indiana. You got to play all these teams. Go on the road. You have to play Michigan. So these are not going to be easy games. So we'll see what happens there. Like I said, UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan State all on the road of the non-ranked team. Now, if they beat UCLA, Rutgers, and Michigan State, I think they should. So we'll see what happens as those games are down the road. But Maryland at home, hope the team is ready. Hope the fans continue to come out and support. Weather should hold up. We'll be here. We'll be here live. We'll be here live Saturday night, recapping the game at the Maryland football post game show. We'll be here recapping and talking about all of the action, good, bad, ugly, as well on Saturday night, probably around 7, 8 p.m. So stay tuned. Kickoffs at 3:30 on the Big Ten Network. It is Oktoberfest at the show. Yours truly, God's favorite host. Let me know what you're looking forward to. I'm going Nebraska. Comment down below. Let me know your thoughts. Maryland has to get pressure, and they have to find a way to run the ball, extend drives, keep Raiola and that offense on the sideline, and get touchdowns in the red zone. So coaching, time of possession. I want to see Maryland be physical, try to bully this team. We'll see. And hopefully Maryland can get a win to get to 5-1. But I am going with Nebraska. Hope I'm wrong. I usually am. So that's a good sign too. Stay tuned. Great content on the channel. Lots to get into, lots to get lost into. Hit the subscribe button if you haven't already. You made it this far, leave a comment. And of course, hit that bell. Let me know your thoughts. Maryland, Nebraska, they get to it this Saturday, 3:30. Everyone, if you're going to the game, be safe, have fun. I'll be recapping it here live from the home base, the Flex Zone Podcast. The place giving you Maryland content and sports coverage how you want it and you need it. Like I said, comment down below, hit the bell, hit the subscribe button, and let me know your thoughts on this game. I'm intrigued and excited to see Raiola in College Park, how he does against his defense. and you got a high-powered offense against a really good, stubborn defense. They only gave up 24 to Washington. So if your defense is only giving up 20 to 24 points a game, you should be in good standing. Only gave up their first rushing touchdown last week as well. So we'll see what happens. Can't wait for the game. We'll see you afterwards with the post-game show. Leave your comments, thoughts, predictions down below. I'll see you in the next video for Maryland football and Maryland basketball and Maryland in general here on the Flex Zone podcast. Thank you guys for joining me. I'll see you tomorrow after the